Hello guys, sitting out here on my porch. It's about to storm. I just got back from my friend's house, one of my best friends. Now check it out, you know you got a really good friend when he says, here man, don't ever say I don't give you nothing. He gives me a notebook, a used notebook at that. I don't even think, yeah, what the hell is all this? Good friend. Thank you. So today I was reading from this book, and I'm going to read it to you, just a little passage. It's called The Way of the Superior Man. Alright, it's by David Dita, and it is a spiritual guide to mastering the challenges of women, work, and sexual desire. And we all need to master those. Don't we all? Now, this part of the book is kind of not really what the whole book's about, but it just really was something I want to share with you all. So it says, live as if your father were dead. A man must love his father, and yet be free of his father's expectations and criticisms in order to be a free man. You know what? Let me put this a little bit. I'm gonna sit back. Alright. Imagine that your father has died, or remember when he did die. Are there any feelings of relief associated with his death? Now that he is dead, is any part of you happy that you need not live up to his expectations or suffer his criticism? How would you have lived your life differently if you had never tried to please your father? If you never tried to show your father that you were worthy? If you never felt burdened by your father's critical eye? For the next 3 days, do at least one activity a day that you have avoided or suppressed because of the influence of your father. In this way, practicing being free of his subtle expectations, which may now reside within your own self-judgment, practice being free in this way, once each day for 3 days, even if you still feel fearful, limited, unworthy, or burdened by your father's expectations. So guys, stepping back from our father's judgment, living as if our fathers were dead. Now, my father is gone. He died a few years ago, and I don't know where you're at in life. Maybe you have a father. Maybe he's, maybe he's still around. Maybe he's not around. Maybe he's here and there. Maybe he's a drunk. Maybe he's awesome. Whatever it is, this is really talking about the focus. Are we putting too much focus standing in our father's shadow? We're worried about what he thinks. We feel like we need to prove ourselves to him. I know a friend that you can just tell the weight of his father's judgment lies heavy on his back. I mean, he's carrying this burden every day. And to me, it seems so odd because I don't have that. And I never really did. But when I hear him, any decision that he makes in life, that he's making, his father's presence seems to make its way there. It seems to be with him wherever he goes. And I'm like, dude, step away from that, okay? You are your own man now, aren't you? You're your own man. So why are you so concerned with your father's opinions and his thoughts? Now, is this because, we grow up around our fathers and our fathers are our heroes, the ones we learn from? Sure. I'm sure it's that. But when do we draw the line and say, I have to step away from my father and his judgment? It's okay to please your father. It's okay to show your father love and to care about what he thinks. But we have to draw a line. Okay, we become our own men with our own decisions, with our own opinions and ways that we view the world. A lot of our dads grew up 40, 50 years ago at a time, where things were a lot different, a hell of a lot different. So to try to live up to his expectations is not it's not possible, really. It's not. You can't get inside his head how he grew up, the morals, the virtues he lived by, the way he lived. We can't do that. So we have to understand that, he is our Father. We show him respect, we show him love, we show him obedience. But we have to make our own choices in life. We can take his advice, but we have to be firm and not let the weight of his judgment weigh us down. So, I want to ask you guys, in what ways, in what ways has your father impacted your life? Was he there for you? And if he was, how much emphasis are you placing? If he's still in your house, if you're living in the same house as your father, is there tension? Okay? Is there tension between you two? Lion of the den, if you will. Who's the lion? Okay? Is he still holding his ground up here? And you're down here looking up to him all the time? Or are you out, Or are you saying, okay, it's time for me to step up? All right, is your mother still and your father still the ones up here and you're just going to them for everything? Or is your father and you, more leveled? Maybe you're up here. Maybe you're running things in the house. You're the man of the house. Okay, you've had to step up in life. Whatever it is. Okay? So, when I was growing up, I had a great father. He was there, and he raised me, Christian household. But in a lot of ways, he was too sensitive. He was too soft. When I look back at it, he was too worried about what other people thought about him. Okay? He was morally, he had virtues, but it was too sensitive to the world. He wasn't penetrating life, penetrating the world. And he would just sit back and watch. And I learned from that. And I can see in myself, as a man, that a lot of these qualities were rubbed off on me because he was the main man in my life. Okay? And I remember whenever I would go out and about, we'd go to these flea markets. We'd go to church and these men meetings. And when I would go with him, I wouldn't want to make him feel, I wouldn't want to embarrass him at all. Okay? So I would keep my mouth shut. I would watch my dad, how he interacted with other men, other people, how he conducted business. And I didn't really want to say much because I was afraid of embarrassing him. And I don't regret that at all. But as I get older, when I was older and me and my dad were around, I started talking more. And I could see, even when it came to me going to school, to different places, how I conducted myself. I was very quiet and reserved. When a girl would approach me, I was shy, I was timid. When it came time to go, maybe pay my cell phone bill or go out in the mall, I was very just quiet and shy around people. And I see that. I was too sensitive. I didn't have that fire. I didn't have that warrior spirit. It says, go out, conquer. You can do this. You don't got to be afraid. You don't have to worry so much about what other people think about you. About what people think about you. And I really was. And I see that in my dad. So it's getting ready to rain. I had to move under this little awning. But I want to finish off this talk, asking you guys, where has your father left you? Where has his influence brought you in this life? And what, in your daily walk, what parts of him do you see? Maybe it's shyness. Maybe it's fearfulness. Maybe it's strength. Maybe you get a lot of strength from your father. And that's terrific. Okay? But we have to be careful when it comes to always feeling the weight of his judgment, worrying about pleasing him. This is kind of a difficult talk for me because I haven't dealt with this. So, but I do remember, and I can't recall the things that I was left with. So, for you guys, maybe you're in your 20s, maybe you're a teenager, whatever. Love your father. Love your dads. Make them happy. You can't always make them happy, but, make them happy. And when you're becoming a man, as you grow, every day that passes, we're growing. Our minds change. Our minds are easily swayed to different opinions and ideas, and a lot of times we get away from the very base teachings of our parents. We don't believe the same things that we once did. We don't have the same opinions and hold to the same upbringing that we were as young children. So, love your fathers, but live as if they're dead. Okay? The weight of their judgment is no more, because it will hold you back. Alright? If you're too concerned about pleasing Him, and He has forced you into this learned helplessness, maybe that's where some of you guys are at. Your fathers are holding you back. This learned helplessness, working out is stupid. It's a waste of time, he says. Maybe it is, but maybe you want to be healthy, okay? He says, get a job, do this, do that. Why aren't you going to school? You don't want to go to school. You've got other plans, but you can't bear to let him down. All right? You can't stand to see that fail. Okay, it would crush him. Leaving the house, moving out on your own, it would crush him. Okay? You wouldn't be there for him. You're his boy. So this learned helplessness, where our dad always has a say in every action and every want and desire of our hearts. And that's the part where you have to sever the ties, okay? You have to say, Dad, I love you, man, okay? Maybe you're living under his roof. You want to respect him. I love you, Dad, okay? But I have to do this. I know you won't approve, but please understand, I have to do this. There are things that are pulling me, things that are pushing me away. I'm drawing near to my goals. I have to do certain things in life. I know you're not going to approve. Be real with him, alright? Your dad loves you, man. If you have a dad, if you're living with your dad, no matter what, he loves you. He's been through a lot of shit. Probably a lot more shit than you ever, have been in through your young 20 years. So, go to him and, tell him your heart. He's your father. He's your family. We can do this. We gotta stop holding back. My one buddy, going back to him, very closed off to his father. He feels like his father's out to get him. He lives with his dad, and his dad's on him, but is your father really out to get you? Do you need to... Your dad's not some sinister man. Maybe he is. I'm sure there's a few. But does he really have this disposition to do evil to you, to make your life miserable? Okay, no. So, he doesn't know how. Our fathers don't know how to handle our situations a lot of times. They try to approach our situations with wisdom, okay? Wisdom that they've learned before. And a lot of our fathers, if we're honest, have a lot of stupid wisdom, okay? Was my father reading a book a week, a book a day? Was he even reading a book a year? No, probably not. I never saw him reading. He was good at, selling stuff. He was a salesman, so I learned some sales from him. But was he learning from some of the best minds? No. So his wisdom, his thoughts and opinions, how he handles problems, comes through. And with a lot of our fathers, we need to say, Dad, I see where you're coming from. But we have to learn ourselves. We have to see where they're coming from. Okay? Guys, I hope this video has been good. Hope it's helped. And, yeah. Dads are sweet. Well, we might be dads one day, so, you know. Alright. Love your fathers. See you guys later. Please subscribe.